Everyone, it's KelsTells. Welcome back to my channel. We have another discussion video for you guys, and in today's video we're going to be talking about reasons that you should not join an organization. I feel like I have had a lot of videos of why we would choose you and how you can be a part of an organization and things that you should do, but there's some things that you need to consider if you are vacillating on joining an organization and you just don't know what reasons you shouldn't join versus the reasons why you really want to join, that I don't think that people take into consideration before they go through joining an organization, basically, that I want to bring to your attention, that I want you guys to really think about before you decide to commit to joining an organization. So if you want to keep watching that video or keep watching what I have to say, then this is the video for you. Before I get into the reasons why you shouldn't consider joining an organization, let me first say to always, I say this all the time, anyone who ever asks me the first step, always do your research first. And I mean not just looking into what's on the website for what the website of the organization has to tell you. Look into the chapter. If you're on campus already, attend events and get to know each organization before you make a final decision on the organization that you want to join. The reason why I say this is because every organization is different. I say this all the time. Every organization is different. Every chapter is not the same as this organization. Everyone's core values are not the same as your core values. So before you even go into, I would say before you even dive into doing your research, figure out what your core values are, be it religion, be it personal feelings towards something, any of those things. Make sure that you know what those values are, what your own mission statement is before you do research on an organization that you want to join. Because a lot of times what tends to happen, and I'll get into this in a second, but a lot of times what tends to happen after people join an organization, they realize that after they join a particular organization or after they join a particular chapter, they decide that it wasn't actually for them and they want to cease their membership. They want to renounce, or they want to denounce, or they want to become inactive. So it's really important to make sure you know what your values are before you join an organization, to avoid having to do such a thing later on down the road, having wasted your money and wasted your time. So since I'm already talking about it, let's go ahead and talk about it. If you think that being a part of an organization will affect whatever your religious beliefs are, then you might not want to join an organization. I've had so many comments to the point where I felt like I didn't even want to look at the comments anymore about people denouncing their letters or people thinking that joining Greek life will change their religion. I just want to clarify something with that since we're talking about it. If you spend so much time, or if you spend too much time worshiping your organization versus worshiping your God or practicing whatever beliefs you have, that's on you. A lot of people tend to join organizations and become obsessed with the organization themselves to where they forget about what their core values are. So which brings me to my next point. If you think this is going to change you, don't join. So if your religion is really important to you, or your belief system is very important to you, and you think that joining an organization will take away from that, then maybe you shouldn't join an organization. Maybe that's something that you want to look into prior to committing to something like that, because people do tend to get obsessed with joining their organizations. It's not the organizations, it's the people. And sometimes it's the people in it. Some people get really caught up, and it's not even with organizations, it's with anything in life. Sometimes we get caught up in the things that we're so interested in that we tend to forget our core values, or we tend to forget things that are most important to us in our own selves. So that's why a lot of people at the end of the day will remove themselves from that organization, because they realize that they spent too much time focusing on it and it took them away from what their core values were. So bear that in mind. I'm not gonna talk about that anymore, but I just want to bring that up. Next point. If you think that the organization is going to change you, then you shouldn't join an organization either. Mind you, I think that sometimes change is good. It's good to improve yourself. If it's changing you for the better, then yes, most definitely. There are different experiences in life that will change people, and I'm all for it. But if it changes you to the point where you're 100% someone that other people do not recognize that they knew before you joined an organization, maybe you shouldn't join an organization, because we don't want to change people for the worse. We want to improve people. We want to empower people. We want people to feel like they're a part of something, and that they're a part of something that is going to change their society or change their community. We're not here to brainwash people, and we're not here to completely change people to the point where they're unrecognizable to their friends and family. So if you think that it's going to change you to that extent, then maybe you should think about not joining an organization. And another thing that you can do to see how being in an organization is going to affect you, like I said before, attend events, get to know the chapter members. If the chapter members have a particular personality and you know that you don't fit that personality and you have to make yourself fit that personality, then that's not the organization, or rather that's not the chapter that you need to join. And maybe you should consider graduate chapter, because we don't want to change people's personalities altogether. That's not the point of joining an organization. You're still supposed to be yourself, but you're yourself who's also a part of a particular organization. So bear that in mind with joining an organization, some of the things that you should consider. The last thing that I think that people should take into consideration before joining an organization would be if you can't commit to it. And commitment means time commitment, financial commitment. If you know that you can't commit to something for a long period of time, then maybe joining an organization, particularly a D9 organization, maybe that's not the right thing for you, because joining D9, joining the Divine Nine organizations means that you're in that organization until you die. But you have to be financial, or rather it's better to be financial and represent that organization until the day you die, versus being inactive, not financial, and wanting to rep the organization until the day you die, because there are benefits to being active. To be active, you have to attend meetings, you have to go to your local, regional, and national or even international meetings. You have to be financial for those things. So if for the long haul you know you can't commit to those, then that might be something for you to consider if you know that you can't do it. It's a huge financial commitment to be a part of an organization. I'll be the first person to tell you, joining graduate chapter is a huge commitment versus joining undergrad. Or undergrad dues are cheaper. Undergrads get help from the grad chapter. When you join graduate chapter, you are there to fend for yourself. Mind you, you do have people who are there to help you, but that's a financial commitment that you are responsible for once you join graduate chapter. You're responsible for your dues. You're responsible for remaining in good standing with the organization. No one's going to help you in regards to that. So if you cannot commit financially, then that may be something for you to consider with joining an organization. Now, you can take a break. There's nothing wrong with that. I've taken a break from joining my organization. I've been in my organization for, gosh, since 2012. I don't even know how many years. 8 years? 8 years pretty much. And it's a huge financial commitment, or it'll be 8 years. Yeah, 8 years this year. We just had our anniversary. So it's a huge financial commitment to go from undergrad 2012 until 2014 to grad chapter from 2015 roughly to 2020. It's a huge financial commitment, and I had to take a break, and there's nothing wrong with that. But know that if you completely stop attending, or if you completely stop paying your dues, you don't reap the benefits of being in the organization as a financial member. So that's something to consider. The other thing that I think is important with commitment is your time. So say you have the money, great, but if you never have time to do what the organization wants you to do, that looks bad on you as well. A lot of people will say the work begins after you've joined the organization. So you need to take that into consideration, that you are required to be there when they need you, particularly neophytes. You can't join an organization, be it undergrad or grad chapter. If you're a neophyte, you're a new member, you're expected more than anyone to be there when we need you than anyone else, because you're new. You need to gain the experience. You need to gain further insight on what we actually do now that you're a part of the organization. So those types of things are important. So if you can't commit to those things, then that's something that you need to consider with your wanting to join an organization. Maybe undergrad is a better time for you to join, because you'll have more time on your hands versus trying to join in grad chapter, where you have other commitments like family, work, I don't know, but that's something to consider with being active in graduate chapter as well as being active in undergrad. And vice versa. If you think that you will have less time in undergrad than you would in grad chapter, then maybe grad chapter is a better fit for you. So those are the things that I think you guys should take into consideration. If you guys can think of anything else, please put them in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and are all doing well. Like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.